Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga chapter review. This one's going to be for chapter 12, which is called Thorn Soul Bulb. Kind of difficult to say quite quickly, but plot focused element. It actually is the main thing from this chapter. Overall, I would say that this was an okay chapter. I was not blown away by it. I did wish more happened in it overall, but the big reveal, the Thorn Soul Bulb, was kind of interesting enough, even though I don't even think we probably have enough of a foundation in terms of what's going on to speculate too much about what's going on. So I do feel it's the usual problem of just monthly manga, 40 pages, but did they use those 40 pages effectively? Did it feel like a month's worth of content? Especially given that this is a volume ending chapter. This is going to be the finish for volume 3 of 2 Blue Vortex. I definitely expected there to be a little bit more than what was actually presented here. I still feel like I don't fully know what exactly we're doing here. Because not all of the Divine Tree characters are here, this is not the final battle, but we've, at least for now, temporarily taken out Hidari. But here's Jura here, but then what about the other two? I'm guessing we are eventually building to a retreat, so we can just, have some character stuff and then build up to the proper kind of fight with all these characters. But they're just taking a little bit too much time to get there, I think. And the use of the page count is not, I think, strong enough to kind of justify this pacing. So let's get into it sort of page by page. Cover page is Sumire, which is kind of interesting. She is in this chapter, but doesn't really do anything. But the cover page doesn't always represent that. Usually it is just this character is in it, and I don't think so far have repeated for 2 Blue Vortex, but I might be misremembering there. So we open up. Boruto has, of course, arrived on the scene, and everyone is a bit surprised, of course. Sumire on the ground, Konohamaru here, Hidari, and Boruto just says, Konohamaru, keep Himawari safe. This is where we get sort of like the preview page that we got of Hidari attacking, Boruto sending Hidari flying backwards with a wind-style breakthrough. Hidari escapes via the claw marks, and we get a bit of a kind of a break in the battle for now. We come back to Kawaki, who basically says, oh, Boruto's aura changed locations in a flash. Gotta be that space-time ninjutsu. I bet he's now where Team 10 first ran into the enemy. Delta reports back to the sort of sensory team about, hey, what's the status update? They get the status update. And the idea is that Delta and Kawaki are both watching what Jura is doing from a distance. And Jura is just standing there where he was left, basically, just watching kind of what's going on with the Hidari conflict. So the setup is something ominous is kind of happening to a certain degree. But anyway, we cut back to the idea of oh yeah, Konohamaru is going to view Boruto in a bad way, of course. What are you plotting, showing up like nothing's changed? Don't you understand your position? Sarada points out that if not for Boruto, I would be dead. And Konohamaru is eventually like, okay, fine. Watch out, he can freely manipulate claw marks just like Code can. He could pop up anywhere. Interestingly, Boruto goes to the random sensory ninja that's there and is just like, hey, focus on those claw marks, alert us if anything happens, basically. This is where Sumire gets her, I suppose, kind of moment, I suppose. She talks to Boruto and says, this foe is clearly after Sarada. Just now he completely ignored Konohamaru and went for Sarada instead. So I guess that's the thing about the targeting. She has sort of noted that. We know that because the characters have said directly that they have targets, but I suppose the other characters, the heroes, don't actually know that that's how the Divine Tree characters operate. So I guess Sumire is the first one on the track to kind of figuring that all out. Sarada points out, yeah, he said he was going to devour me. Plus, it's all related, isn't it, to like my father's moves. That's why he became a tree. That's the whole idea. Konohamaru latches onto this and is like, oh wait, is this related to what's going on with Moegi? And Boruto just says, this guy came into being using Old Man Sasuke's chakra as a source. But don't concern yourself with that or hold back at all. Just focus on taking him down in order to save Old Man. In order to save. Oh yeah, and then he's like Old Man Sasuke, and there's a bit of a reaction to this. So the idea is as expected, to save the person trapped in the tree, defeating the person who has kind of taken them over to a certain degree is a requirement. That it doesn't seem to have any sort of feedback kind of effect type thing. Don't worry about you hurting Sasuke by attacking Hidari seems to be the takeaway here. So the question comes up, Boruto, how do you know all of this? And Boruto just points out, focus or you'll die. The sensory ninja points out that something's going on with the claw marks. He can't pinpoint a location because it's like all of them basically activating. But anyway, claw grimes come out. Boruto says he'll cut down the numbers. They're after you, so only fight the ones that directly attack you. That's the strategy. Sumire kind of is told by Konohamaru to get behind him. And yeah, we just get some action here. So Boruto with the sword starts cutting up some claw grimes. Sarada kicks one of them, but this is just used as a way for Hidari to get closer to Sarada because all of the claw grimes have a claw mark on them, and so he grabs her foot, is about to, his arm turns into a tree. Sarada is about to be devoured, basically. But Boruto sees this, fires a shuriken, though again it's blocked by the appearance of a claw grime. But Boruto acts even quicker, kind of gets in between them, and Rasengans Hidari in like the shoulder, breaking the devour kind of connection here. Hidari does immediately disappear into the claw marks. We do get a look inside though, as I guess he goes back to the area where like the Ten Tails is, the full body of the Ten Tails is. And what seems to happen here is that, yeah, the sort of tree tentacles of the Ten Tails go into Hidari, heal him, and then he immediately comes back out. So we see him immediately return, and he just covers the ground in claw marks, like all over the place. Sarada suggests, okay, you escape up into the sky, I'll deal with him on the ground. But Boruto's like, no, I'm going to finish this in one blow. I'm going to use Rasengan Uzuhiko. That will kill him in one blow. So he once again explains what the Uzuhiko is. It's the energy of the centrifugal force of the planet channeled through his attack, but it requires him to stay in place, attached to the ground, to actually use it. So he needs the kind of enemy to be brought to him is sort of the idea. But he says, well, what does he say? There's absolutely no limit to the Uzuhiko's power, which makes sense if he's channeling effectively the motion of planetary bodies effectively. And so, yeah, this is where the claw marks activate again. Boruto is about to be hit while he's still charging. This is where Konohamaru steps in to defend with the Rasengan barrier, his new move, which is kind of cool. Boruto's like, hey, I told you to guard Himawari, but Konohamaru's like, I'll decide my priorities. Thanks, you just get the jutsu ready. Sarada gets grabbed again and is about to be taken away, but she reacts quickly this time and uses Chidori Stream, shocking Hidari and allowing her to basically judo toss Hidari out of the claw mark into Boruto's incoming attack. Boruto does say it's not perfect, but it's now or never, and he uses Rasengan Uzuhiko. So again, cool usage of this where it's just the outstretched typical Rasengan attack, but you see the kind of rotational energy kind of channel up through the ground, through Boruto's legs, and basically it is this I suppose it's hard to depict it, but the idea is that it is this lightning fast spinning tornado of energy chakra, and the idea is that Hidari is almost like cut to ribbons by how fast he's turned here, and most of him is sort of missing. It's only like the top part of his body basically falls back to the ground, and Boruto's about to charge in like, you're not getting away. But Kawaki arrives on the scene here out of nowhere. He decides he's going to finish this, and yeah, he does his kind of artificial arm thing and does his kind of cannon blast, and this apparently atomizes basically Hidari. So it seems like Hidari has been fully defeated. Konohamaru praises him, of course, and we get the reveal of the Thorn Soul Bulb here. So it is this bulb. It's a seed-looking thing. It's got thorns on it, and then it does seem to have the Rinnegan pattern on the bottom. But this seems to be the kind of core of one of these Divine Tree characters. Probably has to be the takeaway, because he has been outright defeated, and this is the only thing left. So Boruto grabs this, and everyone's asking, like, what is this? He then holds it up to the Toad, who's, of course, in his clothing, basically, and is just like, are you sure this is it? And then we cut to Kashin Koji saying that, I've confirmed it, there's no mistake. It's the same as what I saw before. It's a Thorn Soul Bulb. So the immediate question is, wait, where has Kashin Koji seen one of these before, and how? Is this relating to the incident that happened in the past that got Sasuke captured in the first place? Or is this some other thing? Because obviously Kashin Koji, we don't really know exactly what he's been up to in the time skip, or even the gap at the end of the series from when he kind of left the story. So there's some missing stuff there with Kashin Koji. So I wonder how much he does actually know. And I'm assuming this chapter to a certain degree has to be the proper reintroduction of this character. Like, I think he has to come back into play given what I think is about to happen. But anyway, Boruto's like, good. Kawaki then confronts Boruto and is like, hold up, what is that thing? And he just says, I was told it's something that will help save my master, who was turned into a tree. Now let go of me, Kawaki, or I'll cut off your arm. You were told by whom? Whose info is it? So basically they're looking for him to reveal Kashin Koji, but he doesn't. Now, he can't actually answer the question because he is immediately hit by... I guess this is what they're revealing kind of Jura's like special technique to be. This was what he did in the previous chapter sort of as well. Is he can do these crazy sort of specific manipulations of tail beast bombs. So he did like a tail beast shotgun blast in a previous chapter, and this is like a tail beast sniper shot here, where this tail beast bomb just goes straight through Boruto's chest. He misses vital organs here because I guess it's so far away, but Boruto of course still has been pierced by this pretty devastating attack. So he drops the Thorn Soul Bulb and falls to the ground. Sarada rushes in to help, as everyone's reacting. Kawaki's like, Delta, report. This is where we get the reveal that it is actually Jura who has done this, and that it was him shooting the tail beast bomb out of his eye, missed his vitals. And Delta's like, whoa, he's taking shots from all the way over there. This is where Sarada realizes, oh, you've dropped the bulb. I better go grab that because it will help save Sasuke. So she rushes over to grab it, but then another shot comes in, and yeah, it goes through Sarada's arm. Obviously, it's a thin shot, so it kind of pierces her arm rather than like cutting it off. But he's taking them out from distance here. So the bulb flies through the air, and what happens here? The bulb, it's flying off. It's sort of unclear. Does Jura summon it to himself, or is it actually able to move on its own, as in like it is Hidari, so maybe it can move on its own, and you have to hold on to it. But either way, Boruto can't really move to immediately collect it. Jura reclaims it, and this is where we get the final scene of the chapter. So Boruto, that he even knows about the Thorn Soul Bulb already. He's a lot more dangerous than I'd anticipated, and the final panel is, very well, Kawaki alone should be good enough as Otsutsuki fodder. Otsutsuki Boruto, I've decided that you need to die. So he's made his decision in terms of like, okay, to progress we're divine trees still, I will consume Kawaki as the Otsutsuki sort of sacrifice to make a full-on divine tree chakra fruit situation. But that means that he has to actually kill Boruto. He's too dangerous. He seems to know the secret of these divine tree characters, the Thorn Soul Bulb, and he's going to go after Boruto here. So that is the cliffhanger ending here. I gotta admit, it is not a super strong, like, volume ending cliffhanger here. Just that, the villain decides he wants to kill the protagonist. Like, ooh, gripping stuff there, big moves. Just because, like, I thought that was probably going to be the obvious play anyway, because Boruto is the more powerful of Kawaki and Boruto. That this makes the most sense, regardless of any information he has. The big question, I suppose, coming out of this probably has to be, who is going to fight Jura? Because as far as we're aware, Kawaki is no match for him. Boruto is down for now, but his vitals were all missed, so he'll get back up and I guess be able to fight. I don't think it's meant to be that, like, he's fully out of the fight, but obviously he's been pierced by a pretty bad attack. Sarada doesn't seem like she's going to be able to match up against this guy. Like, we've got some strong characters here who will at least be able to maybe defend for a little bit, but it does feel like if we're actually going to force Jura to retreat or beat him, we need someone else to arrive on the scene. And so I'm guessing this is maybe where they're going to go for the return of Kashin Koji properly, that he has to, I suppose, reveal himself to the other characters. And, you know, immediately the thing that we need to know is, okay, you've mentioned this many times in the chapter. What on earth is a Thorn Soul Bulb? I think there's a implication about what it is, but they actually haven't said what it is, what it really means, that sort of thing. So they've done a cliffhanger with the idea of, you know about this important thing, we're not going to tell you anything about it. Meaning the way they usually do this is that probably the cliffhanger for the next chapter will be probably after the initial information reveal on what this thing actually is. As for some basic speculation about really what it is, obviously I think it's meant to be the core, the individual thing. Like this one is Hidari, basically. I think that's the intent of it. That if they get this back to the Ten Tails kind of area where Hidari healed, he can be, I guess, healed once again and reform. I think that's probably the intent, because I guess we will get Hidari back again, because I think we need to have the full-on proper fight where Sarada is the one to actually like finish it rather than Boruto finishing it. So I am assuming he will be revived from this thing. But then, how does this help to reverse the whole trapped in a tree thing? I'm guessing because it's got the Rinnegan thing on it, is it something like where, like, if you show that eye to the person in the divine tree, like they're freed from it? I'm guessing that's the intent of it, is that you have to bring the core of the character back to the tree with the other character, and that's how you kind of resolve things overall. Because again, it seems like Kashin Koji and Boruto, because they were there when Sasuke got, I guess, that's why this all happened. But also, this has to be, I guess, finally telling us more about the incident where Sasuke actually did get, got, basically, and just everything that went down, and some of the, like, stuff they haven't actually told us. I probably had to go back to some of the previous chapters to get some of the exact details about specific things, but that's the the big thing here is the introduction of Kashin Koji to Boruto once again is an important detail that they probably do need to get back around to. Otherwise, there wasn't really that much else going on in the chapter. Like, a lot of the characters we expected to be involved here are involved. Kawaki, I suppose, was careful here to not use the karma, so he didn't take Boruto out of the fight. That'll be interesting going forward. I guess towards the big mystery with Boruto, the fact that he's been injured here and might be now pushed to his limit. We might see Momoshiki potentially make his Two Blue Vortex debut, which I think everyone is waiting to see what the deal is there. That's the big thing we want to see almost every single chapter. Otherwise, like, that really is it in terms of takeaways. Usually the chapters where most of it is a fight, there's never anything too fancy to talk about, because the Yuzahiko, we've known about it before. All the other jutsus, like, apart from like Sarada's Chidori stream, which is not a new jutsu, but I guess is the first time I think us seeing her use it. There was nothing new really to the action that we saw here, so that's probably just the main criticism I would have of the chapter. It's like, this would be a great weekly chapter, but as a monthly chapter, I just feel like, tell us more. We need more information to see what actually is going on here, and it's clear you, I think, could choose to pace things better and have more go on, but you're not for whatever reason. I am a little bit concerned maybe about doing maybe a speculation video ahead of the next chapter, just because I really don't know what else there is to talk about that I haven't already said. So maybe if we get a good preview page for chapter 13. Otherwise, not really sure what's going to happen here. It really is all about probably some characters showing up to allow for a good defense against Jura, and then hopefully they explain what a Thorn Soul Bulb actually is, beyond just what it's implied to be from context. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on chapter 12 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Otherwise, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.